Now, what if I told you that you might not be on track for a comfortable retirement, but there was an easy fix? Now, pension planning often gets a bad rap for being boring, but here's the reality according to Finder.com. The average pension pot for UK retirees is just £69,481. That's far short of the £285,000 that most experts recommend for a comfortable retirement. And even that might not be enough if you're aiming for true financial freedom. So the real question today is, could £1 million be enough to retire on? Now, for some it's more than enough, but for others it's just the beginning. And in this video I'm going to show you how one couple turned a retirement shortfall into a nest egg worth £1,020,827. So stick with me, folks, because strategies they used could completely change the way you approach your own retirement planning. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear insight on whether £1 million could work for you and the steps you need to take to get there. Now, more importantly, I'm going to show you how a small change could make all the difference in securing your future. Let's dive into the big question. Is £1 million really enough to retire on? Well, the answer, of course, it depends entirely on you and your lifestyle. If you're planning on a basic retirement, you're talking about covering just your essentials, housing, food, utilities and healthcare, that's all. If you want a more moderate lifestyle, you're looking at a few extras, perhaps the occasional holiday, going out for a nice meal, that would be lovely, or buying a new car every now and then. If you envisage a luxury retirement, you're talking about frequent travel, fine dining, golf club memberships, treating the family and friends, and perhaps even a second home abroad. But no matter what lifestyle you want, there are costs that are unavoidable. Housing, whether you're renting or maintaining your home, that'll eat away at your budget. Then there's the ongoing expenses like groceries, transport and heating bills. These don't go away and they will always take a bite out of your retirement savings. On top of that, of course, you need to think about healthcare because that could also be a significant expense. Now, whilst the NHS helps, you're still going to have costs for dental care, private treatments and possibly long-term care down the line. These things add up very quickly. So let me show you how one couple's story unfolded. I want to introduce you to Clive and Helen. They're 55 years old, they're married and they would like to retire at 60. Now, Clive brings in £75,000 a year and Helen is earning £45,000 a year. They've managed to save up £700,000 already in their pensions. Clive's got £450,000 and Helen has £250,000. So far so good, right? Well, it sounds like they've done well for themselves, but here's the thing. They're looking to retire and live a very comfortable lifestyle, but not splurge too much, but they still do want to enjoy their retirement. They want to take out £5,500 per month net from their pensions between the ages of 60 to 75, and then they're going to scale back a bit to £3,250 a month after age 75. They wanted to travel during their early retirement years and pursue the hobbies they had put on the back burner. Now, Clive had been an avid painter and wanted to take up the hobby again, and Helen had always loved gardening and planned to do some enhancements to their garden during her spare time. Now, let's talk about some assumptions here just so we know what we're working with. We're looking at an inflation rate of 2% a year in line with the government's long-term targets, and an investment return of 4% a year, which is based on a medium risk investment approach and is quite conservative in the real world. Plus, both Clive and Helen will start receiving their state pensions at 67. Now, for the first scenario, we're not adding any extra pension contributions between now and retirement. So with all that in mind, let's see how they're really doing. Here's what happens if Clive and Helen stick to their plan. No extra contributions, just the existing pension pot growing. Now, by the time they retire at 60, they've got £853,296,000. That's not bad, right? Well, here's where it gets a wee bit tricky. When they start taking their withdrawals, it doesn't last as long as they thought, not with tax included, etc., etc. And by the age of 77, their pension pot is empty. And if they live to 90, they're facing a shortfall of £160,627. That is a big problem. So even though they've saved up a solid chunk of money, they're still going to run out before they are 90, assuming they get there, of course. Now, that's not the retirement Clive and Helen really want, am I right? Well, let's look at what happened when Clive and Helen got some expert advice. They met with us here at Reeves, and as part of their free review, our recommendation was tailored to their specific situation. Given their surplus income, we suggested that both of them started to contribute 12.5% annually of their salaries into their pensions for the next 5 years, just until they retired at 60, not beyond that. For Clive, that meant £9,375 a year, and for Helen, it was £5,625 a year. Now, it's important to note that the 12.5% contribution was based on their individual financial circumstances, and we always emphasise adjusting contributions according to what fits comfortably within your own budget. And wow, let me tell you, this small change made a huge difference. With these contributions, their pension pot at 60 was now £1 million, well, just over, as you can see. That's not only enough to meet their income goals through to 90, but they actually finish with a projected balance of 45 grand there or thereabouts at 90. That's a nice cushion to have in retirement, don't you think? And that's also assuming a 4% investment return, which with a fair wind, we ought to be able to improve on, all things being equal. Now, that's a £205,562 improvement compared to the first scenario. All it took was a little thought, a little planning, and a few smart decisions. Now, Clive and Helen took the time to set clear goals and understand what they really wanted from retirement, and by seeking financial advice, they were able to look at their full financial picture and make informed decisions and adjustments along the way. That gave them a solid plan and the confidence that they were moving in the right direction towards the retirement they really want. Now, an impromptu plug here, but that's why we're offering you a completely free financial review worth over 800 quid to help you spot the hidden opportunities, avoid costly mistakes, and take confident steps towards your goals. Whether you want to retire early, you grow your savings, or simply feel more secure, this session is tailored to you. We've helped thousands of people retire earlier than they ever expected, and now it's your turn if you want. Now, click the link in the description below to book your free review today. There's no cost, there's no obligation to become a client, just expert, personalized advice to help you make the most of the money you've worked so hard to earn. Now that I've shown you a real-life case study from one of our clients, it's important to take a few minutes to outline several factors which influence how long £1 million retirement fund will really sustain you. Now, life expectancy. Retirement in the UK often lasts 20 to 30 years, but with increasing life expectancy, you may need to stretch your savings even further. If you live into your 90s, your funds will need to last significantly longer than anticipated. Withdrawal strategies are another factor. There are various approaches to managing withdrawals from retirement savings, or using that money generally to fund retirement. A common method is to determine a sustainable withdrawal rate based on individual circumstances, including investment returns, inflation, and personal spending needs. For example, some retirees may opt for a flexible withdrawal strategy, adjusting their annual withdrawals based on market performance and living expenses in a particular year. This ensures that savings can last through retirement whilst we adapt to changing financial conditions. Investment growth is key. Now, keeping money invested even after retirement can definitely help extend your savings. Diversified investments such as stocks, bonds, and property can all generate returns that offset withdrawals and inflation. Many retirees use a pension drawdown strategy to balance income and investment growth effectively. So now that you've seen the impact of a small change, let's talk about how you can make £1 million last through retirement. First, starting early is crucial. The earlier you begin to contribute more to your pension if you can, the less you'll need to save later. Compound growth is very powerful. It turns small, consistent contributions into large sums over time. Now, starting at 30 instead of 40 could mean the difference between retiring at 60 or 67. Seriously. Maximising pension tax relief is a smart way to boost your retirement savings. The government adds to your contributions based on your income tax band. If you're a basic rate taxpayer, which is 20% at the moment, paying in £80 means HMRC tops it up to £100. A high rate taxpayer, which is 40% currently, can still contribute £80, receive the £20 top up automatically, and claim back another £20 usually through self-assessment, and that £100 therefore only really costs you £60. Now, additional rate taxpayers, which is 45%, can claim back a little bit more, reducing the cost of a £100 contribution to just 55 quid. It's one of the few ways to get genuine free money from the government, and it's really well worth taking advantage of that. Now, when you retire, you need to withdraw strategically. Drawing too much from your pension too soon, especially especially during market downturns, can deplete your funds far too quickly. So instead, stay invested and withdraw carefully, letting your money recover during market fluctuations. Consider annuities as well. Converting part of your pension into a guaranteed income stream can protect you from running out of money, even if you live into your 90s. It's peace of mind knowing that your basic living costs will be covered no matter what happens with the market. Just a little FYI, we are doing a video on this very soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And lastly, don't stop growing your investments once you retire. Keep your £1 million working for you by staying diversified. Even in retirement, your money should always continue to grow. This ensures that you can withdraw income whilst still seeing your wealth expand. And perhaps most importantly, get expert help. Markets can be volatile. They certainly are at the moment, which we've discussed in my previous video, and having a financial advisor guide you through those ups and downs is invaluable. A good advisor ensures that your retirement plan stays on track, adjusting as needed for changes in the market or your life circumstances. For example, maybe pausing withdrawals and using some cash in really tricky times. And in times like these, a well-built retirement plan just isn't enough. You need someone who can help you respond strategically. So what's the biggest takeaway from today's video, folks? Well, proper planning and smart adjustments can make a massive difference to ensuring your retirement is everything you've dreamed of. Whether you're starting with £1 million or £500,000 or less, having the right strategies in place can protect your future and will protect your future. One powerful step many people overlook, well, it's pension consolidation. If you've built up multiple pensions over the years, which most people have, well, bringing them together can reduce fees, can simplify the management, can get you a better investment strategy and give you a very clear picture of your retirement plan. That's really tricky to do when you've got pensions all over the place. So click the link in the description to watch our free pension consolidation webinar. It's jam-packed with practical tips to help you get started. And don't miss my next video where I'll walk you through how much you should have saved by each age and the exact steps to take if you're falling a wee bit behind. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. Click the video here and I'll see you all there.